Well, we're through with October now, and we're into November, believe it or not. That means Christmas is just right around the corner. Man, it feels like Christmas was just like a month ago. Time has really flown. Well, it's the very beginning of November, which made me think about Thanksgiving. We're in the best month of college football, which made me thankful to live in Alabama and be an Alabama football fan. That ultimately led me to today's topic. You see, Alabama's a very old state. We were the 22nd state admitted into the United States in 1819, which means this year, 2019, Alabama is 200 years old exactly. Now, in all of the states, not just Alabama, laws are created to serve the people of the time, and then was 200 years later, those laws really don't apply anymore, but for whatever reason, the state government has forgotten them. They don't remove them, and they pretty much just sit as an Alabama state law, but they're really not enforced. So I thought it would be a great idea to compile a list of those laws that are really crazy. I mean, some of them are really insane. So today, it's going to be a little bit different type video than I've ever done before. I've never compiled a list like this before. But we're all going to have a good laugh. It's going to be great, because I am going to tell you 15 of the craziest, most ridiculous laws in Alabama. It's going to be epic. First thing, as a Southerner or an Alabamian that travels the country, I've talked to a lot of people up north or on the west side of the country who they've never visited Alabama. And I hear a lot of stuff. You know, people are ignorant, I guess, to the way things are here because they've never been here. One of the biggest things that I hear from people is that they believe a lot of people from Alabama are inbred and uneducated. And it's just not true. They all believe that because of the first law that we're going to talk about today. Number 15, incestuous marriages or children from the product of incestuous marriages are considered legitimate. Yes, that's a law. But people here in Alabama, they don't marry their brothers or sisters or some other family member minus a distant cousin, and that happens all over the world. They don't do it because it's not socially acceptable. It's considered wrong. They wouldn't be accepted socially. They would probably be ridiculed, and I'm pretty sure it's very doubtful that the magistrate here would marry a brother and sister or a close family member to each other. But according to the law, if they convince the right person, I guess it could happen. Number 14, bear wrestling is prohibited in Alabama. Okay, so animal experts have taken account of a lot of the wildlife that there's not much of here in Alabama, like bears, okay? The climate just isn't ideal for bears here in Alabama. So as far as they know, there's just over 100 bears that live here in Alabama, out in the wild. And for whatever reason, in Alabama's early days, it was made illegal to wrestle with one of the bears. I don't know why. I guess maybe bears were becoming a thing back then and they didn't want people to get hurt. I don't know. Either way, in Alabama law, it's actually a Class B felony if you get caught wrestling a bear. Number 13, you can't play Dominos on Sunday. Yes, that's a real law, but no, it's not enforced. In the early days of Alabama's existence, in an effort to get more Alabama residents to go to church, Domino's, playing Domino's, not ordering from Domino's, but playing Domino's was outlawed on Sundays, which is crazy enough on its own, but that also brings us to our next law. Number 12, it is illegal to wear a fake mustache to church to invoke laughter. And this one's a kind of ridiculous one. I think it's hilarious. At any rate, yeah, you can't wear a mustache to church to invoke laughter from people. So I guess at some point in the early days of Alabama's history, they had a problem with people going to church wearing fake mustaches just to make people laugh. Number 11, it's illegal to be blindfolded while driving. I mean, this seems like something no one would do already, and I'm not sure why it was made law here in Alabama, but I guess there's just some crazy people out there who would try driving while blindfolded, and Alabama legislature decided to put a stop to it. I don't know. Number 10, it's illegal to throw salt on railroad tracks. Now, this one was actually made a law for legitimate reasons. Once upon a time in Alabama's history, Alabama was an open range state. That meant animals just roamed everywhere. Well, they didn't want humans to throw salt on the railroad tracks, which would attract the wildlife to those railroad tracks, causing them to be hit by a train and killed. So they put it into law. You're not allowed to throw salt on railroad tracks. I'm sorry. It's crazy. Number 9, it's illegal to dress up as a priest on Halloween. Obviously, this law is not enforced. There's kids and people who dress up as priest or the Pope. There's people who dress up like it all the time for Halloween. But if they were to enforce it and you were convicted of dressing up as a priest on Halloween, the penalty is 1 year in jail and a $500 fine. Number 8, it's illegal to sell peanuts after sundown on Wednesdays in Lee County. Well, this was again a law that was made in Alabama's early days to try to get more people involved in church. So they had to shut down their peanut stands on Wednesday evenings. That left them free and available so that they could attend church. Number 7, inside the city limits of Mobile, Alabama, it's illegal to howl at women.
I want a diamond ring, I want some bracelets and everything. Daddy, you better get the best for me. Hey, Daddy.
Alright, so Mobile is the birthplace of Mardi Gras. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. It did not originate in New Orleans, where it's most popularly held at now. It originated in Mobile, Alabama. So I'm just assuming that this law was enacted for Mardi Gras in Mobile. And while we're on the subject of laws made for Mardi Gras, that brings us to our next one. Number 6, it is illegal to throw confetti or silly string in Mobile, Alabama. I guess they just got tired of cleaning up all the confetti or silly string after Mardi Gras. So at some point in time, they made this law. Now, it's not enforced anymore, but at some point in time it was. Number 5, it is illegal to throw or spit fruit peelings onto the ground. Again, at some point I guess maybe they had a problem with it back in the day and they got tired of cleaning it up. But if you are eating an orange and you take your peel and you toss it on the ground, you can be arrested and charged a fine of up to $500. Number 4, women cannot wear a lewd dress in public in Montgomery, Alabama. This is actually still kind of enforced today, but it's only enforced if there's too much nudity showing. Nowadays, the police mostly just stop and stare, pretty much. Number 3, it is illegal to open an umbrella in downtown. Now, I know what you're thinking. That just sounds ridiculous because if it starts raining, of course you're going to open an umbrella downtown, and this isn't a law that's enforced anymore. But in the early days of Alabama, this is way before we had cars, people would open their umbrellas when it was raining, and it would scare the horses. So it became Alabama law that you weren't allowed to open your umbrella in the downtown area because it would scare the horses. Number 2, which is one of the more ridiculous laws on this list, which is why I saved it for number 2. It is illegal to have an ice cream cone in your pocket. This is a real law. Okay, you can Google Alabama's ice cream law and this will pop up because it is real. This goes back to the early days of Alabama when everyone rode horses as well. Horse thieves would put ice cream cones with ice cream in their back pockets to lure away horses so that they could steal them. To this day, that law is still on the books, and it's illegal to walk around with an ice cream cone in your pocket. That brings us to number 1, our final entry in the top 15 most crazy, ridiculous laws in Alabama. It is illegal for men in the state of Alabama to deflower a virgin regardless of their age or marital status. Oh boy. So yes, all you men that live here in the state of Alabama, if you take a girl's virginity, even if you were married, you saved yourself for marriage, you just got married, if you take a girl's virginity, whether married or not, you could spend 5 years in jail and have a $500 fine. It is a misdemeanor to take a girl's virginity in the state of Alabama.
And today I'm going to teach you how to take a girl's virginity.
I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. That is it for the top 15 craziest, most ridiculous laws that are part of the state of Alabama. Some of them, you can't believe, I can't believe at least, that they are in existence. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was a lot of fun to research and make, and hopefully you got a good laugh, as did I. I want to thank you all for watching. As always, if you want to help support the channel, you can check out the links down in the description box below, and if you didn't notice, this will be the first episode posted where right down below this video you can find your Bama Mike gear, t-shirts. They're listed not in the description bar. Just scroll down a little bit and you will see them right there. Thank you all. I will see you again tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day. Roll Tide.